me see. Eric, you're going to tell me my vertex. Let's see. Tristan, you're going to tell me you're going to tell me if it's a max or min. Okay. Alejandro, you're going to tell me my axis of symmetry. So it's got to be x is equal to something right in the equation for that undefined line. Okay. My domain, let me have, Dane, you're going to tell me my domain, and then Trevor, you're going to tell me my range. Okay? So now, a lot of you have a job. Alright. Okay, looking at it, here we go. We're looking at the graph of D2. Okay, let's start with our vertex. Okay, start with the vertex. Who did I send the vertex to? Eric, what's my vertex? Negative 1, 2, good. Okay, again, it's either the highest or lowest point on the graph. Okay, now this one opens upward, so it's going to be my lowest point, right? We can see our lowest point is right here in the ordered pair is negative 1, 2. We went left 1 and up 2. So if I ask for the vertex, you have to give me an ordered pair, and that one is negative 1, 2. Okay, who's telling me if it's a max or a min? Tristan, is it a maximum or a minimum?
Minimum.
Minimum, how'd you know?
Because it makes a regular U-shape.
Makes a regular U-shape, right? So I'm going to have a lowest point on the graph. Okay, so max or min, you can write just MIN. I'm okay with that. I know what you're talking about. Okay, my axis of symmetry. Alejandra.
X is equal to negative 1.
X is equal to negative 1. Very good. So you're telling me that my axis of symmetry is that vertical line going through x is equal to negative 1. Okay, going through x at negative 1. Very good. Again, you'll usually see it as a dashed vertical line. Okay, if I was to fold the graph on that vertical line, this side would be on top of that side, okay, because they're equal on both sides. Okay? My domain. Who's doing my domain? Dane, what's my domain? All real numbers. How'd you know? Okay, but why is it all real numbers? What makes this all real numbers? Okay. So you're telling me a negative graph wouldn't have all real numbers? An upside down one? What makes it? What do we have at the top of this? Those arrows, right? Which means it's going to expand up and out forever. Very good. All real numbers. Okay. And then my range. Trevor? Y is greater than or equal to 2. Very good. Y is greater than or equal to 2. Again, we're going to write it as an inequality. Okay, my lowest point, my vertex was at negative 1, 2, so that's my lowest point on the graph. It was expanding up and out forever. Okay, so if my lowest y value on the graph is 2, okay, then I can have any y values greater than or equal to 2. Okay, here's what I need you to do. Get out a sheet of paper. Okay, at the top of your page, you were going to write features of a parabola. So at the top of your page, you're going to write features of a parabola. See, after I pass this out, you can go. Okay, features of a parabola. Okay, you are going to answer these 5 things for me from the graphs. Okay, now we've already done D1 and D2. Okay, we've already done those 2. On your problems, you don't have to write the D. So D3 would be number 3. D4 would be number 4. So for all of these problems, you're going to find these 5 things. The domain, the range, the axis of symmetry, the vertex, and the max or min. You may use your notes. Okay, we are doing this by ourselves. So I'm going to pass this out to you. You can write on this sheet. I have more than a class set, so if you want to write on it, go for it. If you want to underline things, if you want to draw your axis of symmetry, whatever you want to do, that is fine with me. Okay, so we'll take one and pass it back. But you are going to turn in that blank sheet of paper to me at the end of class, whether you are done or not. Take one and pass it back. Kylie, you with me? Put your head up. I need you to do something. That's okay. You can try a few problems. Take one and pass back. You got an extra? You? Okay, so again, we already did D1 and D2, so don't worry about doing D1 and D2. Okay, so you're going to start with this D3. You can just label it number 3. Okay, so you can start with number 3. And I know, hey, you're talking about this parabola right here. So find the axis of symmetry, vertex, domain, and range. Just a minute, Cassie. Cassie, you go now. So I should see everybody working on this. Again, you're going to turn in what you have at the end of the period.
Which ones are we doing?
All of them. Start with all of them.
Ones we've already done too?
No, so you were not doing 1 and 2. We already did those together. So you're starting with number 3. Again, so at the top of your page, title it Features of a Parabola, so I know which assignment we're talking about. You need help, feel free to raise your hand. We'll come around and help you. Pay attention to your numbers. I don't think any of your, what it's counting about on your X and Y axis, I think it's all ones, if I remember correctly, so that shouldn't be too bad. I don't think they're trying to trick you on it. Okay. Just make sure, right, like if you're looking at number 3, if you have an ordered pair, okay, like your vertex right here, and it's between 0 and 2, well, I know that that x value, that x coordinate is 1. So just make sure we're getting those numbers in between, all right? Make sure, guys, your axis of symmetry, when it asks for that, you're giving me the equation x is equal to, okay, and whatever value that x should be. Make sure it's given to me as an equation. Make sure your vertex is given to me as an ordered pair. Good. Vertex? Okay. 1, -2, that's good. Okay, now since we found our vertex, again we can find our axis of symmetry. Alright, because it's going to go through that x coordinate right here on that vertex. So what's my x coordinate? So my axis of symmetry would be x is equal to what then? 1. Very good. And now since my graph is opening upwards, right, that vertex at the bottom, is that gonna be a maximum or a minimum? Right, remember a maximum would be way up here, right, so the lowest point on my graph, right, so that'd be a minimum. Good. And then my domain for this one, right, if it's expanding up and out forever, right, since it's expanding out, we're gonna cover all of my x values, from negative infinity to positive infinity, so what do we call that? It goes up and out forever, right? Just like our line. Remember we call that all row numbers. So our domain is all row numbers. Okay, and talking about my range, my y values, right? This is my lowest point on the graph, right? What's my y coordinate at this point right here? -2, right? So if this is my lowest point, well, I'm not going to have a y coordinate or a y value below that point. But I'm going to have an infinite amount of y values above that -2. So my range for my y has got to be greater than or equal to this number. Right? So that would be my range. Y is greater than or equal to this number because I cannot have a y value below that point. So what would that look like if you were to write that? Y is greater than or equal to -2. What does that look like? Okay, I'm going to do all your other problems just like that. Do all of them just like that. You have that sheet on your desk, you need to look at it. Did you not get one? You did. How's you doing good? Sean doing good, man? Getting it? Very good, very good. One looks good. For number 3. Right, so number 3 here. Do I have a maximum or a minimum? Minimum, right? So my lowest point on the graph is this point right here. Well, range is talking about my y values, okay? So what is my y coordinate of this minimum? It's my y coordinate. -2, right? So I'm not going to have a point below -2. I'm not going to have a y value below it. So that means I'm going to have an infinite amount of values above that -2. So my y value has got to be greater than or equal to that number, right? Because any y value greater than -2 is a possible output. So what does that look like if I write it? Y has got to be. What does greater than look like? If my y is going to be greater than. A little trick when you're talking about these, right? If I'm talking about greater than or equal to, you want to know, hey, which one is greater than, which one's less than. Okay, looking at this inequality, okay? This side has 2 dots. 2 is greater than 1, right? So wherever your 2 dots is pointing, that number is going to be greater than. Right? So on this one, the 2 would be greater than the y. On this one, the y would be greater than the 2. So your 2 dots is always going to point to greater than. So if I want y is greater than or equal to 2, well, those 2 dots need to be facing the y. Does that make sense? We good? You good? Actually, both those are so it's your x, right? So it's going to go through that x value. You're on number 6. So what's my vertex? Positive 3, 0, right? So again, your axis of symmetry is going to be x is equal to that x coordinate. Well, where am I at? I'm at 3. This would be a vertical line through that 3. So x is equal to